I want them in the car. Once they go home, once they show their family and friends, once they post it on social media, it's hard for them to back out. Interestingly enough, even if you're new to car sales, right, or even if you're new to a particular product, if you make a good first impression, right, I truly believe this, that a good first impression won't make you every deal, but a bad first impression won't make you any. And you don't get a second chance at a good first impression. If you make a bad first impression, similar to the law of attraction, they're going to start to look for, and it's a bias that's attached to this, they're going to look for other negative things to validate the way they feel about you. Because people want to be right about their assumptions. So if you make a bad first impression, they're going to look at you through that lens the entire time, and it makes it much harder because you're playing from behind. When you're trying to do a product presentation, when you're trying to qualify them, when you're trying to present numbers, when you're trying to explain that leasing is actually better for them because rates are higher rather than financing, all they're thinking about is still, do I even like this guy? And that's subconscious. So you're playing from behind the entire time. So the first impression is very important, especially understanding that this is stressful for a lot of people. You know, they really don't want to be here. But if you show them you don't want to be here too, well, you got two people that don't want to be here, you're probably not going to get too far. Excuses versus objections. I always say that a customer to me is guilty until proven innocent. What I mean by that is I always assume what they say is an excuse until they prove to me it's a real objection. So I have selective listening. What happens is if you give credibility to their excuse, it's the same as imagine a baby falls on the ground and starts crying. If you go to, oh, what happened? It starts crying more. But if you weren't in the room, it would get up and walk away and be fine. If you start to cater to that excuse, you attach them to that excuse. Now they feel like that's the hill they have to die on. It's hard for them to save face because then later on in the close, they personalize that excuse they gave you and they have to stand their ground. So I'm very selective with what I let them know that I'm listening to. Because if they know I'm catering to that, that's the elephant in the room, and sometimes it's hard for them to come back from that, right? So even little word tracks with customers that says, I'm not buying today, right? Listen, I'm not buying today. I'm just letting you know, Mike, right? Not buying today. Mike, if you didn't buy today, that would be my fault, not yours. Allow me to show you all the products we have in stock, go over all the features, get you all the information you need, so when you're ready to make a buying decision, it's an educated one. But if you didn't buy today, that'd be my fault, not yours. Well, if it's my fault, not yours, I let you off the hook. You don't have to own that objection anymore. Because if you didn't buy today, that's on me. But if I don't say that and you don't buy today, that's on you. And you got to stand by that, right? Excuses versus objections.
The other thing is so you said something about like a sight unseen trade-in.
Sight unseen, yeah.
Unseen? Okay.
Yeah. Which means we don't actually see the vehicle.
Okay, but we can still kind of put an estimate on it?
You could put an estimate if that's the piece of the puzzle missing from you making them leave with a new car today.
Right.
You don't want to do that over the phone, though.
No.
Right?
So,
it's the opposite approach over the phone because you want to get them here.
Right. So when they come back in with the trade-in on the next day, if it happens to be like lower or whatever, right? If we can't get them that estimate,
well,
do we have to change the paperwork?
We're going to be conservative with the offer. Mm-hmm. This is between us.
Well, right.
Between us, we're going to be conservative, right? We don't want to tell them that.
Absolutely.
But we're going to protect ourselves. But we are going to, listen, in a perfect world, if somebody was home to take pictures of it and send it to us in a perfect world, right? But no, we will base it off of, when we appraise the vehicle in our database, we'll base it off of the condition not being perfect, of course, because it's a pre-owned vehicle. And we'll ask them, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being showroom ready, 10 being brand new, how would you rate the exterior of your vehicle, of your trade-in? Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being brand new, how would you rate the exterior?
Like a 6. A
6, okay. And what about the interior?
Probably, a 7.
Okay. Any major repairs that you have to make to the trade-in that you know about?
No, it's just, it's high on maintenance, so I just want to get rid of it.
Okay. Right, which is good. You want to get rid of it, right? And then we'll put the VIN and miles into our database, and we'll put a value on it. And we'll also identify if there was an accident on the Carfax or not. So we could do that all from here.
Okay.
Right? Because that once again, a lot of times they leave the trade at home as a reason to not have to do a deal today. Right? Because they want to prevent themselves from making a decision they're going to regret.
So what if they own the So like we can still have them sign everything and have like a physical deal in, and then they just bring in the trade in the next day.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the money? What if they don't?
And you may spot them. You know, you may do spot paperwork where you don't full sign the whole contract, but they sign something so that they feel they're cemented and committed to the deal.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't have the money.
So they can afford the car, but they don't have it's not like liquid or whatever. They need to move it out of their savings into
That's fine.
Or, whatever.
Yeah, you would do what's called a promissory note. They would sign promising to bring the money back.
Okay.
And you would do that, yeah.
Is that just something I handwrite?
No, your manager will work that up. The finance manager does that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they bring the money back.
Okay.
You know,
Cool.
so 100%. Yeah.
Sure.
But once again, but this is how you get creative to make car deals happen.
Gotcha.
So you don't lose them.
See, I didn't know we could do that.
Yeah.
Because I had Iacone TO a deal last night, and he was like, "Well, I'm not worried about the money right now."
Right.
I'm like, why not? You know, I don't really didn't understand that.
Especially if they're great credit, you know that they're responsible, right? And you know they're not a credit criminal. They're not gonna...
What if it wasn't credit though? He wanted to do like a cash down deal.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but you just
we could still do a promissory note, but
yeah, you just know, like they were financing the car though, right?
no.
Just
no. He wanted to do a cash down deal if possible.
You mean a cash deal?
Well, yes.
Full cash deal.
Yeah.
Full cash deal. So then you could spot them in the vehicle, right? You would probably run their credit just in case.
Okay.
Just to make sure that if something were to happen where they weren't able to come up with all the funds, they could still finance the car.
Okay.
Right, as a backup plan. But that would be up to your managers. Sometimes, different dealerships will, put a customer on a temp tag or a dealer tag.
Right.
But that's all stuff your managers will go over with you.
Okay.
Yeah, my mindset is always, how can I find a way to make this deal happen?
Right.
And at the very least, how do I get them in the car? I want them in the car. Once they go home, once they show their family and friends, once they post it on social media, it's hard for them to back out.
Right.
They assumed ownership of it. Make sense?
Yeah, thanks.